call that a robot? This is a robot. Welcome to Click, I'm Spencer Kelly. Now, you know us, we love our technology, and the newer the tech, the better. Well, if there's one place in the world where the technology is newer and more advanced than anywhere else, it's right here, in Japan. This week, we'll race around Tokyo to bring you the best in Japanese technology. We'll look at the newest mobiles and services, robot culture, and the latest moves to make the future a better place by saving the environment. Come with us now as we depart Click's private airbase in London and head east to the land of the future. It's a country which has given us some of the most iconic video games of the past 4 decades. A place that's always ready to try the next big thing.
こんにちは。ようこそ日本へ。
Tokyo is chock full of iconic sights and sounds. The neon, the high-rise, the people, millions of them coursing through the streets night and day. The bullet train, which will whisk you headlong into the heart of the city, a garish palace of strange fads and fashions that rarely make it off these islands.
Tokyo is a very crowded city. It's very densely populated. People live very close together. And so you're constantly surrounded by what people have, what people consume, what kind of cell phone they've got, what type of laptop they use. And you're always seeing this 360 degrees around you at all times. It's a little bit more pressure, I think, to keep up with everyone else.
A quick trip on the Tokyo subway system will show you all you need to know about Japan's love of technology. Even before you travel, you can pay for your taxi, train ticket, even a soft drink without parting with any cash. Just wave your rechargeable e-wallet. It's welcome in many places and the closest thing to a cashless society I've seen. Every major city in the world has a district where you go to get your latest technology and your electronics paraphernalia. All of them pale into insignificance when you compare them to the mighty Akihabara. It's a labyrinth of small electronic shops and stalls typical of Southeast Asia. This is where you come for your spare parts, your components and your geek bling. It's a place to shop, hang out and play. Just behind the train station, in the shadow of the 9-storey Yodobashi camera store, hundreds of Nintendo DS players stand silently inside an area specially reserved for fans of Dragon Quest. Here they can wirelessly join each other in one massive gaming session. And nearby, this new Red Cross Centre, a blood donation clinic that has, unashamedly, been decorated like a full-on Star Trek medibay. Each bed is fitted with an iPod and a video screen, and even the bins are space age. This place has been designed to appeal to the young Akihabara massive, an attempt to attract more of them into giving blood. For Japan, healthcare is now a burning issue. With over a fifth of Japanese people now over 65 years old, the country has the world's oldest population. In a country where new technology and ancient traditions sit side by side, caring for the elderly and allowing them to continue to enjoy life into their 2nd century has become a high-tech problem. And to solve that problem, they've invented these. These robotic legs will keep you mobile, even if you can't support your own weight. Sensors are attached to your skin to detect electrical muscle signals, meaning that the legs will move, even if your legs can't. There's also a full power-assisted suit. Yeah, it's a blooming robot suit. Again, acting purely on muscle impulse, the wearer will be given new strength that old age can't take away. There's just one thing. that concerns me. The company producing this suit shares its name with the one that will go on to build the Terminator and then destroy the world. Should we be worried? Now, we've timed our visit to Tokyo to coincide with Japan's annual technology expo, CETEC. Smaller than many tech shows we visit, but rich in innovation nonetheless. This is where you get to see new products months or even years before they come to the West. For example, here's a laptop that will have you seeing double. This one will keep all your fingers busy with 2 touchpads, a multi-touch pad for use with Windows 7 and a scroll bar next to the screen. But along with the product launches, this is also where the tech companies show us they're working out, the fledgling technologies that are still in the research phase. Now, there's been a lot of work done recently on gesture recognition. For example, right now I'm navigating the globe using the flick of a wrist or the twist of a hand. And if I want to find out even more information about what I'm looking at, I can actually use 2 hands. Never mind work on the universal remote control. One day, the controller could be your body. It's true that computers are getting better at recognising the human form, or at least bits of it. Future applications of gesture tech are almost limitless. Some are still a way off, some are nearly here. Some allow you to become a duck. So, time to dive into the Japanese tech scene. And along with yours truly, here's the team ready to take you deeper. The mobile phone and the mobile internet device have changed the world. And as you'd expect, the Japanese have embraced both with suitable passion and enthusiasm. Richard Taylor's been looking at some of the things you can do on the move in Tokyo.
If you ever doubted the impact of the mobile phone, well, where have you been all this time?
携帯
The Keitai isn't merely an accessory here, it's become the must-have personal companion for almost every Japanese adult. A result, perhaps, of its unique evolutionary path here.
Japan is considered the Galapagos of the mobile industry. We've evolved heavily on our own. We've put certain features and functions which probably would only work in Japan, culture-wise.
That means phenomena you just wouldn't see elsewhere, like commuters head down reading Japanese novels or manga on a 3-inch screen. And the e-wallet smart card, well, that's standard issue now on virtually all handsets. Soon GPS will be too. So if you're in the market for a mobile, how on earth do you differentiate one from another when there's a kaleidoscopic array on offer? Well, choose your defining feature. You're the bookish type, are you? Then this integrated e-book model might be up your street. More of a multimedia buff, are we? Well, how about this, sir? A high-def video camera for all you discerning sharpshooters. You prefer watching the moving image, do you? No problem, just get any handset equipped with OneSeg, live streaming TV from 8 terrestrial channels. So much for the high street. To get an insight into handset innovation, I was given a private tour around NTT Docomo, the outfit which first put Japan in the mobile fast lane. Alongside the basic fare, namely the waterproof 8-megapixel solar charge models, sat more niche products, ones for the elderly. Or with built-in alarms, for example. A quick yank calls another number and transmits its position, courtesy of GPS. And just take a look at these concept models. This one splitting in 2, so you can watch a video on one half and use the other as a remote control. But it's not just all about the phones, though. The add-ons and services on display at CETEC highlight Japan's predilection for the quirky. This one will definitely appeal to the execs out there, using a phone's built-in motion sensor to monitor your golf swing. Or mobile browsing through a catalogue with your body shape and face modelling the couture before you click through to buy. And as you'd expect, all of these innovations are backed up by blisteringly fast mobile networks. In Tokyo, the eMobile network has just launched HSPA+, offering a staggering 21 megabits a second download speed. If 21 megabits a second sounds too good to be true, and that's because it is. In practice, you're more likely to achieve something like 16 or 17, and that's if you're right next to the network base station. There are no more than about 3 people using the network, and the wind's blowing in the right direction. In more normal conditions, like indoors in a showroom for example, you might achieve something like 3 or 4. But even so, with the ability to stream high-def video, you can see that that would be enough to satisfy all but the most demanding of internet gluttons. In Japan, it's easy to see a truly interactive mobile future, one where you'd be able to use your phone to automate domestic tasks.
The cleaner robot has cleaned the living room prior to your return.
And make sure they're being done by using your handset to control a roving webcam. Indeed, the line between home and mobile communications will soon start to disappear altogether. So your TV will recognise your mobile as soon as you're in the same room. Because your preferences are stored online, it can tailor the content to you. So it will pick up what you were watching on the way home, for example, or intelligently suggest something for you to watch that evening. Today, these are just conceptual scenarios, but you can bet in Japan it won't be long before they're reality.
Richard Taylor, and we'll have much more from Japan in a couple of ticks. First, the latest technology news from around the world. We briefly mentioned Windows 7 earlier. Well, the operating system has been officially unleashed to the world. No doubt Microsoft will be hoping for a better reception than the one which greeted Vista. And let's face it, it couldn't get much worse. We covered its main features a while back. Check out our site for full coverage. And while you're at it, let us know your thoughts about 7 and we'll air them in an upcoming show. Not to be outdone, just as the suits in Seattle implement multi-touch into an OS, the cool cats down at Cupertino have shown off a multi-touch, wireless, buttonless mouse. The surface of Apple's so-called Magic Mouse acts as a multi-touch trackpad and comes as standard with new iMacs. And finally, Google Voice has been belatedly and embarrassingly overhauled after private voicemails left by individuals for other individuals were laid bare for the entire world to see and hear. The service pulls together multiple phone numbers into one web-based universal number. One user stumbled across 31 voicemails complete with transcripts, callers' names and phone numbers. So much for trusting the big boys with our info. Now, all these high-end processors and flashing lights certainly dazzle the senses, but you can't help wondering just how much juice all this kit is sucking up. And in these more economically and ecologically aware times, we are all trying to save the planet and our pennies at the same time. Now, Mark Chislak is no friend of the earth, but he is tighter than 2 coats of paint. So we sent him to look at some new ways to cut down on his emissions and his expenditure.
The 21st century home is packed to the rafters with electrical devices, from labour-saving kit in the kitchen to widescreen flashy TVs and computers, and of course the simple act of illuminating our homes requires power. Some of the major manufacturers at CTEC are suggesting that alternative energy sources like wind and solar power could become commonplace as wind turbines and solar panels become cheaper.
環境
But short of pulling the plug and switching off our creature comforts, reducing the amount of energy we use and therefore reducing our carbon footprint seems to be the goal of the big players here at this event. Pretty much all the consumer kit here at CTEC is making claims to be more energy efficient, but here's an unusual way of saving electricity. This particular TV set is fitted with a small camera and it's equipped with facial recognition software. It's looking for a viewer's full face pointing directly at the screen. If I turn away from the screen for a couple of seconds, the vision slowly fades out, but the audio continues to play. If I turn back to look at the screen, the picture instantly returns. This prototype TV and face recognition software are the brainchild of engineers at Hitachi. They've already been trumped, though, by Sony, who have a similar presence sensor technology fitted to a production television. When the viewer moves away from the screen, it switches itself into standby mode. You might think that features like this are no more than a gimmick. Surely the viewer can just switch the TV off when they leave the room. It does help highlight, though, the more serious green credentials of these TVs. This LCD screen benefits from a more efficient backlighting setup, which means that it uses half the electricity of rival LCD TVs.
Echo. Echo.
In the quest for more energy efficiency in the home, even the humble light bulb has come to the attention of eco-tinkering engineers. With the current crop of energy-efficient bulbs having disappointed because they take an awfully long time to warm up and achieve full brightness, and incandescent bulbs, well, they've been deemed too energy inefficient. It seems like the LED, or light-emitting diode, could have graduated from the small blinking light in the front of your stereo into fully-fledged, super bright light bulbs. Until now, LED light bulbs have remained something of a rarity as a result of the bulb's sky-high price tag. The manufacturers of the latest generation of LED lamps, about to be launched in Japan, claim they're 8 times more efficient than old-style incandescent and have up to a 19-year lifespan, which is 40 times longer than a common or garden bulb. Individual light-emitting diodes are clustered inside the bulbs, and the quality of light they produce is bright and the lamps are dimmable. The problem is, some of those small bulbs cost up to $40, so very friendly to the environment, not so friendly on your wallet.
Mark Chislak expending as little energy as possible, once again. OK, there's one major area of Japanese popular tech culture that we haven't touched on yet, and it's high time we did. So, they're charging their batteries, and now they're full of energy. These are the robots. In a tiny Tokyo office, a mannequin strikes a pose. But there's something strange going on here. I'm sure of it. The Pallet robot is the brainchild of small startup Flower Robotics, and the robot itself is no dummy. When dressed appropriately in a shop window, it'll model the clothes in a variety of poses, and by watching the reaction of passers-by through a camera, it'll learn which poses are best at capturing and holding attention. Now, for those of you who think that we enjoy palatial accommodation when we go abroad, let me just show you the size of a typical Japanese business hotel room. There's no space even to put my suitcase away. But although the in-room facilities may be diminutive, according to the brochure, even this hotel has its windows cleaned by robots. Surely they can't be serious.
Robot.
Actually, all joking and poor visual effects aside, there's nothing sinister about Japanese robotics at all. Religion and popular culture have both contributed to a very different view of robots to that in the West.
Shintoism is the main religion here in Japan, and one core element of this religion is the belief that inanimate things like a rock or a plant have a transcendent spirit in them. So it's a highly animist religion. And if you translate this to robotics, it means that Japanese people have no problem in believing that robots in the near future might have a personality, which is a thought that most of Western people are afraid of.
Here at CTEC, the robots come out to play, fight, sing, and, of course, unicycle, to demonstrate advances in balance and coordination, and the smarts which will one day allow these droids to think for themselves.
人工知能.
Concept droids like Polaris here may one day become your personal assistant, part mobile phone, part roly ball thing. These robots, showcased by Nissan, may one day evolve into self-drive cars of the future. They're demonstrating the advantages of vehicles which communicate with each other to flow effectively around an obstacle in the road. Far better, apparently, than every driver independently guessing the best alternative route. In reality, AI is still a long way off. For now, home robots are little more than expensive toys, either performing a series of pre-programmed routines or operating on the end of a remote control. You will, however, find robot shops like this in Tokyo, stocked with fully built bots and all the parts you'd need to build your own. And when I asked the owner how he would like robot technology to advance in the future, he surprised my Western mind with his very Japanese answer.
僕自身でいいんですかね。僕は多分日本
I grew up watching manga animations which featured robots with a heart. I hope one day I can build a robot which has a heart, which I can be friends with.
If robots do ever become intelligent, I'm sure Japan will greet them with open arms. For now, though, it is all still very much work in progress. And I'm afraid that's it from Click in Japan for now. Hope you've enjoyed our really, really quick tour of the newest tech in Tokyo. There'll be more to come in the next few weeks. Now, everything from this week's programme is up at our website, bbc.co.uk/click, including a video stream of the entire show. And if you'd like to get in touch with us about anything you've seen today, then email click@bbc.co.uk. Thanks for watching. See you next time.